Hello, all. Welcome to Fiddle Fridays, the July edition, with my special guest, Monique Clare. You may notice I'm not holding an instrument. I've had a very busy and stressful few weeks, and I was not able to prepare anything for you. I'm going to turn my email sound off. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to prepare anything for you, but never fear because Monique is here. You won't miss cello because there's going to be plenty of it. In fact, there might even be two cellos on the other end of this stream. So, to make up for the fact that I didn't play. So I'm really excited to have Monique here. We're just going to get right into it. Hello, viewers. If you have any questions during this stream, feel free to put them in the chat. Questions, comments. I don't know if I need your concerns. Just questions and comments would be fine. Let me introduce Monique before we bring her in. So Monique Clare is a classically trained cellist, songwriter, and creative cellist from Australia. I believe it's Brisbane, but we're going to confirm this with her. With only her voice, four strings, and a cello bow, Monique Clare carves out a musical landscape to get lost in. She draws listeners into her storytelling, sifting through the raw, the imperfect, and the unspoken. Always seeking connection, she craves the rush of an intimately honest performance. Aside from her own music, she has an EP out, as well as three singles from a new full length album set to come out in the next year. She has also toured internationally with Melbourne outfit The Maze and has been a hired gun for world class artists such as Kate Miller, Hede, I hate. You're gonna have to help me with that one, Monique. And the Whitlams, Katie Noonan, and my favorite, Eminem. My little middle school heart pounds. Let's bring Monique in and her special guest, Joe D'Esposito. Here she comes, here she comes, here she is. She is here.
Coming. Hello.
Hi.
How's things?
Oh, I don't know. They're fine. They're good. I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy. I've been watching you doing these for a long time and I'm like,
It's happening.
hey,
What? Go ahead.
it's just started raining and we've got a window open. Is it
I
really
can't
noisy?
hear it.
You can't hear it. Great.
No.
Magic of microphones.
Magic.
Magic.
Monique, will you confirm what is it states in Australia or provinces or something else?
States.
Territories. What state are you
Oh,
from?
yeah, so I'm from Queensland. There are a couple of territories. So it's, yeah, states and territories. There's the Northern Territory, the Australian Capital Territory, which is just like a little circle in the middle of New South Wales.
Right.
I think that's it for the territories. The rest are states.
Cool.
I'm from Queensland, which is subtropical and feels a lot like Nashville.
Yes. We're also getting a geography lesson on this stream. We do it all here at Fiddle Fridays.
That's what it's
Um, how about you jump in right off the bat with a song to like
Okay, cool. Well, right on cue, here's Joe covered in rain.
oh no.
um,
Is
and
your
yeah, we
house
might.
wet? Is the house all wet now?
Mhm. Yeah, but in a good way, right? Honestly, it's fine because Denver's so dry. You normally have to go around like humidifying everything anyway, so a bit
Okay,
of
good.
water's fine. Yeah, we might play. So we're gonna play a song together, and this is the first time that we've ever played cello together because like when Joe came to Australia on tour with me, he didn't bring his cello, he just brought his fiddle. And
Right.
last time I came to America, I didn't even bring my cello, I just borrowed his. So we've never had two cellos until this trip, and I actually brought mine. So yeah, winning. All right, this is a song called I've Been Gone, which is a single I just released with a Canadian singer called Amanda Rayum. Amanda Rayum!
Double cello coming down.
Double cello. Wow. Wild.
Wanna jump in the water, feel the shock of the cold, leap across the canyon, run into the open field. From the arms of my mother, from the depths of the snow, I'll climb a little further from the safety of what I know. Water's rising, ground is moving, but we've been standing still. Heaven knows I'm making for the warmth of the spring. I crave the courage I once had to let it sink into my skin. Water's rising, ground is moving, but we've been standing Oh my darling, I've been gone, but now I'm running to the heart of the storm. Oh my darling, I've been lost, but now I'm running to the heart of the storm. I wanna jump in the water, feel the shock of the cold. I wanna jump in the water.
Yay!
Thank you.
I love hearing you.
I love seeing you.
Not hearing me. Also, Joe, you've now helped me figure out what will be the requirement for people who are not necessarily going to, because everyone should know that Joe's first instrument is the violin. Is that correct to say?
I'm not proud, but yes.
So he's a chin cellist, but so not cello is not his first instrument, but and he will be playing the violin after this song, I'm told. But as long as your first song is on cello,
Yeah.
it's fine. So that's the new rule on Floor Fiddle Fridays: is if you have a fiddle player accompanist, as long as they play one song on cello, we're golden.
Would you accept it if they turned their fiddle around and played it as a lap fiddle?
Potentially.
I have to think
We'd
on
have
that.
to maybe negotiate a few more things, but
Yeah.
crap. So I'm so happy to have you here. We met at Folk Alliance. What year was that?
I
Like-
think probably 2018 or was it in Montreal or Kansas?
It was Kansas. I
Then
remember riding a bus with you
2018.
somewhere.
Yes. And it's so funny because when you say that we met at Folk Alliance, I think that can't be right because we already were connected online, and I think we were already so kind of about each other.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we knew each other before that, but they felt for real in Kansas for sure. So this series I kind of want to be a entertainment and fun, but I also want it to be like a super cool resource for people who maybe started out on classical music and want to like play some other stuff. So Monique, will you just give us a annotated version of your history in with the cello?
Yeah. I mean, going right back to the start, when I was born, my granddad bought all the kids baby violins because he was a violinist and he had a collecting obsession. He had about 10 violins. Not really sure why that was necessary, but there you go. And I always turned it around and played it down like a cello, like a lap fiddle. And it just took a really long time. Like, obviously, that was just such a sign from when I was tiny, but it took me until I'd done about 3 years of horrendous piano lessons, and I'd been hearing the cello on the radio on ABC Classic FM in Australia, and I had heard Jacqueline du Pré playing, and just whoa, that sound, it's like her,
It's
yeah.
got the best alarm in the world.
Oof.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I've often reflected on the fact that like when I play cello, I like to really dig in with the bow, and in other ways, as a female, I can be really shy and have spent a lot of my life trying not to, step on people's shoes or whatever. But with cello, it's like, "Rrr." And I think a lot of that's to do with people like Jacqueline du Pré and maybe like, Brittany Haas or Hanneke Castle, who just really like females who really dig into the string. So anyway, fell in love with her sound and really wanted to learn cello. And my parents made me wait a few years. Yeah, so then of course I went through the regular route of classical cello lessons and youth orchestra. I did my exams up through the grades, and got to the end of high school and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, so I did a gap year in Estonia and went to a music school there, which was amazing. I got to do 2 cello lessons a week. Wow. And explore different things, and I think that was the first time I went to like a workshop on a fiddle tune, and that was the first time I actually learnt a fiddle tune by ear. And yeah, I got home from that, and a friend of mine who was a fiddle player, Rhiannon Fenn, she got nominated for this fiddle award, but she needed an accompanist, and we were really close friends, and we'd been playing like wedding duos and stuff like that. So we put together this set and we won the award. It was like a national youth folk award, and we just won it like out of the blue, and I was like, well, I guess I'm a folk musician now.
Isn't that funny how it happens?
Yeah. No, I mean, it was really just such a contrast, like getting involved in a folk festival and meeting all these other folk musicians and being like, oh, this is just a lot more fun than youth orchestra.
Yeah,
it makes so much more sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I identify with that.
But I think at that point I probably looked into like going to Berkeley, but ruled it out because it was too expensive. So I ended up studying a classical degree in Australia anyway. But yeah, I guess that was probably good.
Yeah, there's no wrong way, right? And like, I feel like getting a classical degree in a few like can be a really good thing, just because of the chops that it gives you, and like.
Yeah. Well, they don't give you chops, but they give you chops.
No, it's true. It doesn't give you chops, but it gives you shredding chops. Yeah.
Yeah.
That you and as long as you're always curious, and I think if you go through classical music school still being curious about other things, and doing what you can in other genres and styles, like, then I don't know. I think you turned out great.
Thanks. I
No
think
regret.
I love that I can still feel comfortable teaching classical music if I need to.
Yeah.
And I really love, I think my life's ambition is to become a teacher, and I'm kind of doing the performance thing first to, just get it done.
Yeah, well, you have a camp, right? Or a few camps?
Yeah. It's sort of like a camp and workshop series called Tree Folk Music. So I guess, I'm trying to kind of, I mean, that's probably more how it's going to be, is this organic fusion of education and performing throughout. And I just think as time goes on, I'm going to gradually morph more into education.
Yeah.
And this makes so much sense to me.
What is it about teaching that you're so drawn to? Can you like point it on one thing?
I think I definitely have a more wholesome answer, and
And then like a money, like financial answer?
no, that never factors in. um, but just more an ego-driven answer is that I like it when I know something and I can explain it to someone else because it
Yeah,
feels good.
it totally feels
And
good. Yeah.
yeah, I've just always loved that. But yeah, I think in a more, we were talking about this in the car the other day. We were just thinking about when people go into national parks and drop rubbish or carve into trees and things like that, or graffiti rocks. And how whenever I feel despair about something like that, like what's wrong with people, I always remember that the real answer to solving people is to get into education and just help kids or young adults, or I mean anyone really, to just think about things differently. And I think that you can do that with music, and still be really obsessed with music and excited about music, but the things that you're working on within music just apply to the whole world. And I think there's just so much that music can teach you about being open-minded and respectful.
Totally. And you like, I don't know about you, but for me, like music lessons were so much more than music lessons. Like we got into like the tissue box was used. Like it was there were the longer you're with the teacher, the more you get into for sure. So I think that's wonderful. And I think I definitely share those sentiments. I've like gotten back into teaching over the pandemic because I
Mm.
think that the pandemic has kind of uh changed teaching in that like before I was touring too much to have students, and now Zoom lessons are very standard. So
Mhm.
I can take on students and sometimes teach them in Nashville and sometimes teach them on the road. So, and I feel okay about that.
Yep.
Um, so
That has been an amazing
yay
change.
pandemic.
Yay, pandemic. I
Um,
feel so annoyed every time I talk about like the silver lining of the pandemic, because I'm like, it was just bad. Like it just shouldn't have happened. But yeah, there have been so many good things from it.
well, there has to be, or like, I mean, humanity needs to find a silver lining, or it like we
Mm.
just fall into despair. So,
100%.
um,
So were you not teaching at all before the pandemic?
I have taught like when
Mhm.
I was in Montreal, I had like a little like a minute studio, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and um, when I was yeah, that's when I had like the most robust studio, I would say. But then, um, yeah, when I moved here, I just like was touring a lot,
Mm.
and it didn't feel right to like take on students, and no one like doing a lesson over Zoom was like bad. I mean, like the settings are much better now. Like it's much more set up for that now. So
Yeah, I mean,
uh,
thank God, like since the pandemic hit, Zoom introduced those settings like just out of nowhere. And
yeah,
they might not have done that otherwise.
exactly.
So cool.
On the pandemic note, would you like to play us another song?
Yeah. What was I gonna, oh yeah, boats. This is a song that I wrote for a friend of mine after her dad passed away. It's kind of taking a big step back from such a intense emotional experience like that, and looking at cycles of life and death on a broader scale. Yeah, and yet again, this is the first time Joe normally plays fiddle on this, but yeah, look,
Not
we're
on
just trying to fit in. Not on
Fridays.
Fridays.
Good.
Good. All right. Sorry. Too far away. Okay.
All our bodies are but birds. Time will tell us which ones float. Currents pull and rapids churn. Influences few discern. Hidden under broken light. Terrors moving out of sight. Fragile timber grates and mourns. Serving always, never owned. When all our years are done, the biosphere has won. Becoming Earth again. You cannot cheat the end. Last year your boat hit a rock, left you aching from the shock. Breached the hull and broke the keel. Cut a wound that would not heal. Water fighting to get in. Innocent until it wins. Cherubim and seraphim promise us you'll care for him. When all our years are done, the biosphere has won. Becoming Earth again. You cannot cheat the end. All our bodies are but birds. Time will tell us which ones float. All our bodies are but birds.
Thank you.
Gorgeous. Man, like, if I could just have you come move here, live in
And
my
send you
house.
lullabies?
Yeah. And I'll just like lay in bed, and instead of putting Headspace app on, I'll just listen to Monique. I mean, I could just listen to Spotify, but it's something it's different when you're here.
Do you ever sit down with a notebook and sort of brainstorm your dream career, like in 10 years time from now?
No, but I should.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna add it to my to-do list to do.
yeah, no pressure. if I was being real about what my dream career, like I've done that and not written this down, but if I were to be really, really honest, that would be my dream career is just,
Playing people to sleep.
yeah, just being a professional lullaby player.
Sounds lovely for
It
people
would
of all
involve,
ages.
it would involve a lot of trust though, to like let someone enter your house and fall asleep and
And
they
like
have to,
quietly leave.
yeah, just take the TV with me.
Maybe like I just finished watching Downton Abbey, and I feel like like having like an in-house lullaby cellist would
Yeah,
be a thing that they would have.
yeah, yeah, that would be lovely.
What could have been. Um, so you have been releasing singles for a new album, and they're all gorgeous and amazing, by the way. Um, when will we have all of it? Do you have a date?
That's such a good question. It has taken the pandemic to realize that I need to be really, really patient with releasing this album. I wanted to release it in October 2020, and yeah, that date just flew by, and um, yeah, I've just accepted a new level of patience with it. But basically, I it's it's so complicated. Like
Yeah,
one element to it is that the Australian border is shut.
right.
So both in terms of like where am I going to live? You know, like I didn't know that I would be here in the US for the second half of 2021. So I might have released it at the end of this year, but I didn't really want to set that date or book a tour in for it because I just didn't know whether I'd get an exemption to leave
Yeah,
Australia or not. So the border's making it really hard.
yeah,
And also just, you know, I was kind of, you know, like we met at Folk Alliance International where I was showcasing and meeting people from overseas, and I had been touring with the Mays, you know, overseas in the US, Canada, Ireland, UK, and was really hoping to release this album and then go do those circuits myself. So I'm kind of hanging on to it until I know that I can be free and roam around again.
makes total sense.
Yeah.
Like the pandemic just messed up a lot of people's plans,
Yeah.
to say the absolute least.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm doing this program right now that's kind of perfect because it's not a paid program, but I don't have to pay to do it. It's kind of this amazing consensual give and take thing between there's a team of coaches who are all festival directors around the world, and then there are, I think there's about 72 artists from different countries around the world who have been put into teams together to, we kind of collaborate and get to know each other's music and share it with each other's audiences. So it's
Right.
kind of like, well, what do we do when we can't travel, can't go on tour? How do we still keep making new connections and get that sort of like festival backstage feel?
Yeah.
And it's been really amazing.
What is it called?
It's
Global.
called Global Music Match.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's just like wholesome as heck. And it's just not, it feels like professional development and it's or showcasing, so it's sort of a way to pivot to something that makes sense in the pandemic. It's all
Yeah.
online, it only works in a pandemic, and it's just keeping me, it's, I mean, it's helped me fall back in love with music because before doing this I was in such a bad place with it, and I couldn't even imagine releasing an album and feeling excited about that. So
Yeah.
it's been a really big healing process doing that program.
That's so great to hear. I mean, I remember seeing, I love how real you are on your social media about
Yeah.
like how, because it's easy to only see the highlight reel on social media. And I appreciate whenever like anyone is having a hard time and they talk about it, because it just reminds everyone else that like these people that you follow and you love and you think, they're doing so great, like everyone has bad days and bad months and bad
Mm.
seasons, and um it's okay, and we're all just like trying to get through it. So yeah, I love that, and I'm glad that you're in the global music match uh thing. It sounds, I love the things I've been seeing. It's a really cool idea too.
Yeah.
um I want to ask, um probably I want to ask, I've been asking everyone, if you could give, kind of jumping back into the idea of, if anyone's watching that is like, wow, I love what Monique does. I play the cello, but like I don't even know where to begin
Yeah.
with learning how to do, like how to write a song like her, or like how to play the cello like her. Like, where would you tell them to start?
I mean, I don't know so much about cello because I think that that's still so confusing to me. Like what I would recommend, you know, if someone was getting started with cello and
Oh,
they
I mean, like they're already a cellist.
right.
Yeah. They play classical music and they want to do what you do.
Oh, got it, got it. Um yeah, I think that the most important thing if you're trying a new genre is to listen a lot first. And I wouldn't normally advocate for people to kind of quieten themselves or be down on themselves or anything. But when you're getting started with a new genre, it is actually really important to be humble and lay low for a bit, and kind of do your time with it and try and enjoy it. Like just go along to jam sessions and sit back with a drink and listen, rather than getting up there in the front of it and sort of playing an Irish tune in this really classical style with vibrato, because people won't, that it's not only that it doesn't sound totally right, but it also is, it's just obvious that you're not respecting the tradition. So I think it's this big sign of respect to just go and listen for a while and then gradually immerse yourself in it. So yeah, immersion, listening, going to camps is just like the most direct way. It's just like getting a
The
cord and
most
plugging it into your
fun
brain.
as well. Like also the most fun, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. It's
Instead
so
of
much
just
more
like
fun.
being in a room by yourself, you're like at a camp with people who are as nerdy and geeky as you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I was going to say this for songwriting as well. It's sort of like quantity over quality. If you're trying to learn how to improvise or join in with sessions, or write songs, doing more of it and trying to care less about it is really important. And I wish that I would actually take that advice on.
Yeah. Me too.
Yep.
I'm in a rut with songwriting. I feel like I really only write when, like, oh, we're gonna record an album. We should write
Yeah.
some songs. That's when Ben and I write songs for Oliver the Crow. Um and I guess I thrive under pressure that way, because otherwise if I just sit down and try to write something, it just like I'm so judgmental about the things, and
Mhm.
just like, this sounds stupid. Or, and also we live with a songwriter who's like one of our
Is that
favorite
Robbie?
songwriters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Robbie, I told him I was doing this with you tonight, and he was like, Monique, like he really loves you, by the way. Yeah, we live with Robbie Hecht, who's he's like one of our favorite songwriters in the world. And so it's like, we're like, he's like upstairs. I'm
What's
like,
the point?
what's the,
Yeah.
why, like, so, but that's not how music should be, and I know it. And
Not.
just like, yeah, giving yourself, it's like allowing yourself, just like just put it on the paper,
Yeah.
and then yeah.
Well, yeah, I think so. I think trying to be more free about it, but something I've been getting into recently is the idea that um it's not as corny as radical acceptance, because that's like a sort of buzzword. Um it's a very sort of specific type of that, where you recognize exactly how you tick and you go, oh, the advice that you would get if you Googled this isn't actually going to apply to me. I have to be a bit more, you know, clever about it for myself, even though other people would say, well, that's dumb, don't do that. Or you need to fundamentally change that thing about yourself in order to be successful. So kind of getting into the idea that you don't actually have to fundamentally change yourself, because that is like swimming upstream. So swim downstream, but try and like change the course of the river. And I guess for you and me, that would be like, if you're doing a gig, make this promise to yourself that like, or tell your social media followers that at that gig you're going to play a new song. And like, you haven't written it yet already, but you'd like have to get it done.
Oh man. No, that's what I did a few years ago. I did like the tuna day thing. Is that how we found each other maybe? But that was before anything. That was before Focal Lines. That was before Ben. That was like, and I just like every day I made my for a year. I mean, I missed like maybe 10 days, but like every year I wrote, and like some days it was like a lick. Like some days it was not a whole tune, but yeah, and the like having social media be the thing that kept me honest about it was, I love that. I love the announcing, like, I'm playing a new song. That's such a great idea. Maybe Ben and I are playing a live stream in a few weeks, and we haven't played a show in a while. And maybe we'll just like say, hey, we're gonna write a new song for it.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Man, imagine if, okay, this wouldn't work if you were on tour because there's no time, but imagine if every time you played a gig, you had to play a new song.
I mean, Chris Seeley did that for Live from Here.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, that does not count.
Yeah, totally. Would you like to play another song for us?
Yep. All right, it's time to abandon the double cello idea. But it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be worth it. I think this is one of the first songs that Joe and I ever played together. We met at speaking of fiddle camps, we met at Shasta Music Summit in California.
Cool.
And
Fiddle Camp Love.
I'd only just started making solo music, and I'd put one video up, and I turned up to this camp, and Joe just like ran up to me, and he looked like
It was a fast walk.
it was a run. You ran.
Mhm.
I remember it so clearly. And he was like, "Are you Monique Clare?" And I was like, it was one video. Like, wow, what's going on? Yeah, so that was funny. You made me feel famous just for a moment, but turns out it was just a mutual friend. But anyway, we started playing music together, and then I brought him out to Australia to tour with me, and the rest is history.
Wonderful.
And this song has nothing to do with any of that stuff.
That's cool.
Okay, we're not gonna bow into each other. Cool. It's called Hourglass.
I love this one. Okay, bye. I'm ready.
trip over my craves. The tipping point at the edge of where my life taken, but I'm alone. Sand runs through the hourglass to slow. I'm taken. My heart is on loan. Rain by rain, this I've lost and will fall. We ran through lives, these in the space of days. Beings intertwined, a ceremony to escape from pain. Now the days take me scared of the night. I'm scared to try again. I know the feel like it's an old false friend. I'm a lost soul. I'm not here for you. God knows if I'm even in the room. Time spins around me. I can't grab a hold. I am the earth and he is still the sun. Still the sun. Still the sun. Still my sun.
I love that one.
Thank you.
Oh man, it's so magical. Joe, I know you're not playing a cello, but it sounds really awesome, the things you're adding. You're like a little pixie dust on top.
It's loud.
That's what I'm about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pixie dust.
Mhm.
Left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Oh, I've already started talking differently since getting into the US.
Like in what way?
I said center instead of center.
Senna?
Yeah.
Is that an American thing?
Like center, you know.
Center.
Well, how would you say center?
Santa. She's from Long Island.
No, that accent is dead. I think I like actually looking back on home videos of me in high school, I'm like, Kaitlyn, there's an accent there, but it's just steadily declined over the years. But I would say center.
Really? Okay.
Center.
I feel like most Americans I've heard speak say like don't pronounce the T.
I am a hard T person. I don't know where that came from. It might have. I don't know. I actually like Robbie makes fun of us for that because I like really pronounce my T's. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, there you bloody go.
Yep. There you bloody go.
Yeah.
So we should wrap this up, but this has been a joy, a true joy, and you're in Denver for the rest of the year.
I might go to Dubai.
Okay.
There's one
Just
better
like quick
thing.
commute,
I just think the culture's really cool and I just want to
and it's like really close.
no, I might be playing at a Australian expo there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that in November, perchance? Because I'm gonna be in Denver in November.
I think I've timed it so that I'm not going to miss you in Denver.
I love that. Okay, we have to talk about scheduling over the break. But yeah, I just miss you. So yeah, and so we're gonna be on the lookout for the album or the singles whenever they come, and whenever they come, it's gonna be great. And do you want to plug anything else in this last moment?
Well, I'm virtually playing at a Canadian music festival this weekend. I think my set is on Sunday, around it could be 7:30 at night, but the program is online. It's called Blue Skies Music Festival, and I think that they're just streaming it to YouTube, so you can just tune in and they ask for donations. But they're like paying artists, and the donations help to support that. So if you do tune in, like, definitely consider doing that. And when I filmed the live set, I went outside and I picked like half of Joe's sunflowers that he had lovingly grown. So you have to watch it to make the sunflowers worthwhile. Because were you sad? Nope, he wasn't sad, so you don't need to watch it after all.
Okay, yeah, no one's gonna watch it. No one needs to see the sunflowers or the beautiful music. Um, I will watch it. Is it this Saturday?
I think it's this Sunday. It's the 31st.
Sunday.
Oh, that's tomorrow, Saturday.
Okay, I'm gonna be in the car for 10 hours tomorrow, but we'll make it work. So thank you so much, Joe and Monique. Thank you, Joe. Yes, the first fiddle player on Fiddle Fridays. You have the great honor of being that, but your cello playing was also lovely, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you in person someday soon, both of you.
Oh, sure.
I regret that. What a way to finish.
Finger guns, yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for tuning in, whether it was live or in the future, looking back. That happens too. So have a great day, everyone, and goodbye. Let's all say goodbye to them.
Coordinated.
Bye.
Wait, one more
Bye.
time. Here you go. 1, 2, 3.
Bye.
Bye. Oh wait, I want to do this. Okay, bye. Okay. Okay, it's ended.